Hey YouTube, so finally after all this time we're here to go over the cards that are not in Duel Links for Rash Black Dragon, and I will also be basically going over cards that probably be coming way later just because we don't have these types of summoning in Duel Links yet, but actually summoning soon, so we could see this Red Eyes taking Slash's place. But let's go ahead and get into this breakdown because I am way overdue for this video. But anyway, I'm pretty sure the first thing you're gonna notice is that summon skulls in the deck. Why summon skull in the deck? Well, he's in the deck for this guy, Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. Now, Joey got voice lines for this card in the game, but we don't have access to this card in the game. But what his whole deal is that to summon him, you need a level 6 Archfiend normal monster plus one Red Eyes normal monster. And you probably thinking, okay, so I can probably use Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning. Because yes, he does qualify as an Archfiend, but unless he's in the field or the graveyard, he does not qualify as a normal monster. He's a Gemini. He only counts as a normal monster if you normal summon him to the field. So you can't Red Eyes Fusion without Summon Skull because he does not count if you got him in the deck still as a normal Archfiend. But the rest of this guy's gimmick here is, hey, did I just get into a battle with an opponent's monster? Neat. Go ahead and deal damage to them equal to a Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard attack points. So yeah, you attack into your opponent with him, like you somehow was able to do Red Eyes Fusion with some Skull and Red Eyes Black Dragon on your first turn. You attack into your opponent, they take the 3200, then his effect triggers at the end of the battle phase, and they take 2400, that's game. So he can OTK. And also another little strat for another card that should be in Duel Links, but we don't have it yet, is with Infernal Fire Blast. Now granted, the Red Eyes monster that uses this card cannot cannot attack the turn it's activated. And you're probably saying, wait, Red Eyes monster. Well, the card says to target one Red Eyes Black Dragon on the field. So you're only doing 2,400 with this card, right? Well, not exactly. Now, see, another gimmick that people don't know about Red Eyes Fusion is that it turns the Fusion monster summoned with its name into Red Eyes Black Dragon. So, if we had Infernal Fire Blast in the current way the Red Eyes deck is played, you could Red Eyes Black Dragon, a Warrior monster, in our case, Gearfree the Red Eyes Iron Knight, and then special summon Red Eyes Slash at 2,800. Then, if it's like your first turn and you can't attack anyway, you happen to have a Infernal Fire Blast. Red Eyes Fusion made Red Eyes Slash Dragon's name Red Eyes Black Dragon. So you can target your Red Eyes Slash Dragon with Infernal Fire Blast and hit your opponent with 2,800 on your turn 1. So yeah, that does a lot of damage. Now, besides that, the another card that we don't have in Duel Links is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which is technically not just Red Eye support. It can be played in any deck, even Blue Eyes. But his gimmick is banish a dragon on your field, special summon him. Then once per turn, you can special summon a dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, ignoring the not ignoring the summoning condition. Sorry. So he can basically keep you coming off your Red Eyes plays. So, for example, say you got him off by banishing your Red Eyes Riven or even a Red Eyes Retro, which I don't have in this deck at the moment. Oh no, there's Red Eyes Retro that we don't have in the moment. And then get him out on the field, use his effect, special summon the Blackstone of Legend, activate the Blackstone of Legend effect, special summon your Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, and see he can combo off the place and make Red Eyes a much more vicious deck to be worried about. Now, the next card I'm about to go over is the card that I'm really surprised is not in Duel Links yet, considering it's a GX era Red Eyes. And that is Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, which, now that I think about it, it's understandable that he's not in Duel Links yet because he's actually Alexis' brother's monster, but technically that arc had already passed because, yeah. because Sartorius is already in Duel Links, and this happens before Sartorius. This is season 1 of GX. So I'm kind of surprised, but basically, Red Eyes Dark the Dragon gains 300 attack points for each dragon monster in your graveyard. So if you just keep constantly playing Red Eyes by using Red Eyes Fusion, Red Eyes Insight, you will end up with a lot of dragons in your graveyard, boosting him to a lot of damage. But the only catch to slow his progress down, which is not really a catch considering how fast he's special summoning Red Eyes, is you must tribute the original Red Eyes Black Dragons to go into darkness. And yeah, that's real easy considering we got Return to Red Eyes, Red Eye Spirit. Like basically the quick shortcut if you happen to draw into him is Red Eyes Insight, pitch the original, go for Return to Red Eyes. Well, yeah, you can go for Return to Red Eyes. It'll just be another turn before you can get in unless you happen to play in the computer and you use the item for an extra card and then that extra card happens to be Monster Reborn. And you just Monster Reborn back your Red Eyes Black Dragon, activate Red Eyes Darkness Dragon's effect, special summon him to the field, and hey, you got a big beat stick on the field. And then to also extend that play even further is since I know that she's not in the deck either yet, Black Dragon Sword. You can put the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword into the deck, activate Claw Hermos, get rid of another dragon in your hand if you have another dragon in your hand, because I'm not keeping track of the math here, I'm just going off of combos at the moment. And equip it to Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, and oh my god, your opponent probably will quit. Unless they have a way to destroy this and banish a lot of dragons from your graveyard. Okay, and now the next card I want to go over is Red Eyes Alternative Dragon. Sorry about that. Now, this one is interesting, and he will also help Red Eyes get over those big problematic cards that's basically getting over Red Eyes decks because of power. Because, yeah, he still have 2,400 like the original and 2,000 defense, but his whole thing is you can actually summon him by chipping cards in your hand. Specifically, one Red Eyes monster from your hand. And he gets to be special summoned to the field, and then if somehow your opponent gets him off the field by battling or just send him to the... No, okay, yeah, he has to be destroyed or sent to the graveyard by an effect. But if that happens, you get to special summon any Red Eyes monster from your graveyard, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, from your graveyard, you can special summon any Red Eyes monster. But he have a little special incentive if you special summon the original. And if you bring back the original Red Eyes, it gets double the attack points, bringing it up to 4,800. And not much can get over there in the game at the moment. Now, the next Red Eyes monster I want to go over that's not in Duel Links, but Joey has voice lines for. Like, literally, all the cards I've been over, Dark Side Dimension, Joey has voice lines for, but we don't have access to these cards, is Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. Now, just like Black Skull and Red Eyes Impact, he's a Gemini, meaning he's kind of slow to trigger. Unless someday I do that Red Eyes Gemini deck I've been thinking about because of the Geminis Red Eyes have in it. Um, it's a pretty slow card, but when you do Gemini summon it because it lived another turn, or you just happen to pitch it for Red Eyes Insight, return the Red Eyes hit or Red Eyes Spirit it back, you can Gemini summon your next turn, and just like this guy, if you inflict damage to your opponent using this card, you can also send one Red Eyes card from your deck to the graveyard and deal damage equal to half of its attack points. So sorry I said Red Eyes card, I meant Red Eyes monster. So he can deal more damage to every turn to your opponent if he deals damage to them. In other words, if I say Shin, oh no, he won't be fighting Shin. Shin will kill his ass. But if you fight a monster that has less attack points than him, then basically you're going to deal a lot of damage to your opponent still. Okay, is there any other Red Eyes monsters that I'm missing that we don't have in Duel Links? No, I got all the monsters. Now, the only card that I haven't went over yet that's in the main deck for Red Eyes is Red Eyes Fang with Chain, which would just probably make people rage quit if you keep jacking their stuff. Now, you can think of Red Eyes Fang with chain has, well, Tyrant Ring. But this is the kunai chain variant for Red Eyes, and you can equip it to your monster slash, and they can attack twice. Now, if your opponent just happen to have too much power on their side, well, this card can actually get sent to the graveyard from your side of the field, and then you can target one card on your opponent's side of the field, equip it to your monster, and your monster gains that monster's attack points. Or should I say, that monster's attack points become your monster that is equipped to its original attack points. So yeah, you can buff up your red ice monsters even more and get rid of a problematic card. But yeah, that's basically all of the main deck. Now let's get into the extra deck cards that haven't been over yet. And I just got curious because I see the card I was about to go to next, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting the effects mixed up. Oh no, yeah, I was getting the effect mixed up. You don't deal half of a red ice card you send to the graveyard. You deal all of his attack points as damage again. Okay, but let's go over to Meteor Black Comet Dragon, which is the only reason you'll be running one of the Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact, besides its own effect in defense mode, but it's not gonna live in defense. A lot of people get over that real fast. But he would what you would be summoning with Red Eyes Fusion using that card. And his gimmick is when he's first summoned, you can send a Rise monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So basically, if he dies, you're getting your monster back. So say you lost your slash, but you bought another copy of the Destruction deck, so you have another Red Eyes Fusion, and that's the card that's missing. I needed another copy of Red Eyes Fusion in this deck. But anyway, you use Red Eyes Fusion again your next turn. He comes out, pitch another card, deal half of his attack points as damage to your opponent. Your opponent gets over his 3,500 somehow, and then hey, you get your slash back. But he can be monstrous, he can help you out, and he's another recycle engine for the deck. Now, because I know people are going to bring it up, and it's going to make even Dark Magician deck more scary to deal with in the current meta, and sorry, my nose is itching, is Dragon of Red Eyes. Now, this card takes Dark Magician plus Red Eyes Black Dragon to summon it, or one Dragon Effect monster. Well, plus one Dragon Effect monster, so you can play. Well, you can fuse them with just Red Eyes and Dark Magician if you choose to, but you can also add on to it with another effect monster. But anyway, neither player can target or destroy this card with card effects during your main phase. You can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You can use this effect a number of times per turn, up to the number of normal monsters used has fusion material. So he can attack up to 2 times off the bat, because you're using Wrath, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician for his summon. So he's already going to have 2 normal monsters used as the material. And then to top it off, like he said before, he's completely safe in the main phase, so your opponent can't treacherous him when you summon him. They basically can't deal with him until you go into your battle phase. But then again, they can't use card effects that call him out specifically, meaning they can't target him. So he's basically safe and no one's going to be able to deal with him. And when this card first came out, Duel Links, I came onto Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro to test it out. And next thing I know, every time I was able to get him out, my opponent's rage quit and just left the game. They did not want to deal with him. Now, the last 2 cards I'm going to cover in the extra deck for Red Eyes, basically, they're going to be a while, except maybe Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon here because he's an Xyz monster, and we might be getting Xyz this year. But anyway, his whole gimmick is while you have 2 Xyz material, basically the cards you use to summon him attached to this card, you can discard that card equipped to him and basically summon another Red Eyes monster from your deck or graveyard, I believe. Normal monster in your graveyard for free. Normal Red Eyes monster. So you can bring back your OG Red Eyes or Archfiend Lightning, Flare Dragon, or Red Eyes Impact for free if you get rid of at least one of his overlay units or Xyz material. And then if your opponent activates any effect, they take 500 points of damage, and that's not a once per turn effect. So if your opponent wants to keep activating the Seanuri's effects, they're going to constantly be taking 500, so they might want to hurry up and activate one of their effects that get this thing off the field. But the last and final card that I want to go over is Darkness Metal, the Dragon of Dark Steel. Now, granted, this is a Link monster, which the whole format of Speed Duels is based off of that Duel Links plays, but we don't have Link monsters in the game yet. But anyway, you can target one of your monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, spell summon it to your zone this card points to. So you can spell summon it. Okay, sorry. You can spell summon to any three of these zones. You're not going to spell summon it to that zone because, well, that's your opponent's field. And then yeah. And if that monster is destroyed, instead of going to the graveyard, it goes back to the deck. So basically, when he's out on the field, you can special summon up to 3 of any of your monsters. Meaning, hey, I special. Oh yeah, but their effects are negated as well. So don't think you're getting Red Eyes Alternative Blackjacket's effect off. But since he be in the graveyard, I believe his effect technically still goes off because he won't be on the field. That's the effect that triggers in the graveyard. But anyway, that's basically the whole deck. Special summon 3 monsters from him. They get destroyed. They still go into the graveyard. They go back to the deck. Meaning he's another recycle engine for Red Eyes besides the Blackstone of Legend, so you don't mill yourself out. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Sorry it took so long for me to go over these. And if there's an archetype that you want to do a deck review for cards that are not in Duel Links that could come later in the future for the deck, let me know. But comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.